Hello everybody, welcome to JB Board Games. I'm JB, and today I am very excited because we're going to play my favorite game of all time, Seasons. Woo! Excellent game.
It's upside down.
Oh, my bad. It is upside down. But
We're off to a fantastic start.
Before I introduce the game, I want to congratulate the Spiel des Jahres, Kinderspiel, and the Kinderspiel Awards this year. The Kinderspiel is the Kids Game of the Award, German Kids Game of the Award, I should say, and it ended up going to Stone Age Junior. The Kinderspiel went to Isle of Skye, and the Spiel des Jahres, no shocker there, everybody predicted this, went to Codenames. So I want to congratulate to those three winners that the awards were announced Monday.
Great game, Code Games, by the way, and I think we should play it.
Oh, Codenames. Spoiler alerts, Codenames will be done eventually, probably next month I'm shooting for.
Nice.
So that'll be fun. But yeah, Codenames is also coming up with a sequel in a couple of weeks at the Gen Con, and that'll be Codename Pictures. And I'm excited because I'm getting a copy. So I'm very, very happy. But let's get back to Seasons, and I am joined today. Justin is back with me today. Justin's been in most of my episodes. And our special guest today is John.
Hello.
So, just so you know, Seasons is a drafting game, a card drafting game designed by Regis Bonasse, designed or published by Libelud, which is owned by Asmodee Games. So, and it's done very, very well. So, let's play Seasons. Alright, here's the setup of Seasons. It comes with this nice little sundial. Alright, and then everybody starts with like one of these cards. It's just a color. Alright, everybody's thing is the exact same, it's just the color. And then everybody gets these special wizard abilities, and I forgot to mention we are playing with two expansions. We are playing with Enchanted Kingdom, Path to Destiny. I think it adds a whole lot to the game. So what happens, for those of you watching, is everybody starts with a hand of 9 cards. And then everybody's going to choose one, pass it around until everybody has a 9 different set of cards than they originally started with. And then everybody gets to choose one of these tokens after they have played.
After their hand.
Yep. And just so you know, some of these wizard abilities is when you play a wizard ability, most of them are one-time use effects, and this one will give me +2 energies of any type. Okay, and the energies go by the basic common energies of water, earth, air, and fire. Okay, so I get to choose any of those, but I lose 5 points at the end of the game for playing that. This one right here, for an example, is I can sacrifice 4 waters. I'll get 18 points at the end. And this one is a special one that is a continuous effect because at the end of the game, you lose 5 points for each card in your hand. Instead, that ability that I showed you gives me 3 points for each card in my hand instead.
Honestly, I'd almost call that one the God ability, and
it's not really, because you may not have enough cards at the end unless you're actually playing to that.
That's true.
The other part about the setup here is all the colored dice are around the sundial representing the season that we're in. Okay, and the number of dice you use in this game, the game comes with 5 dice for each color, but you use it's 1 die per player plus 1. That's the philosophy.
And there's a reason for that, and we'll get to that in just a few moments.
Yep, we'll get to that in just a few moments. So let's start off by drafting first. Oh yes, and we're going to play with the expansions add these enchantments. Okay, we are going to play with an enchantment. They just basically are continuous effects that affects everyone in this game. Once per game, each player can look at the discard and summon a card from the discard, but they can only do it once. So we're going to be playing with that today as well. And then everybody starts off with these number 2 and number 3 tokens, and I'll explain to you how that works once everybody's done drafting. So let's start off.
Let's draft.
Let's start off with the draft, and then I will explain how the rules work.
Great.
All right, now that everybody's got 9 different cards, and now I'm going to show you on actually how this works. So here's my actual like hand that I have here. On your turn, what's going to happen is, and the first turn it's going to change as we go. So in this game, whoever's the youngest player starts first, and I'll explain what they're doing. Is they're going to take these dice or whatever season we're in, and we slowly start in winter, and they're going to roll these set of dice. And then everybody's going to draft a die. So the first person gets first choice on their roll. And the dice are as follows. You get energy and a transmute, and I'll explain that in a minute. You also get a summoning gauge. You need summoning gauges, which is the star to summon things. This will give you 6 crystals. And when I talk about crystals and prestige points, it's the exact same thing in this game. And then this is a draw die. Okay, and you can draw 1 card from the top of the deck. You may keep it, or you could discard it.
Don't forget to explain what we're doing with the cards right now.
Yep, and I'm going to explain that now exactly how this works. The last die that doesn't get taken with these little pips that are under here, that is the number that this is going to move around the sundial. The game ends after 3 years. And let me show you what the cards are going to do. This is the cost to summon the card. This right here is the amount of points you get at the end of the game for having the card out in play. Okay, this one will cost you points to summon it, crystals to summon it. Okay, and that's what they do. They all have effects. This means a tap ability, like in Magic the Gathering. You tap it to do an effect. Okay, this is a continuous effect, which is the little arrow there. And then I want to show you one last one. This like little spinning top is when it comes into play effect right down here in the left hand corner. Okay, so that's what the cards do, and we'll say what the cards do as we summon them. So what everybody's going to do is they're going to choose 3 cards for the first year, 3 cards for the second year, and third year. So when we cross from 12 to 1, the next start of the year we pick up our second year, and then we do it for the third year. You can look at your cards in any year at any point in the game. Okay, and what I was saying is I'm going to now describe what's on the dial. When you summon cards, you need a summoning gauge, and you can only summon to what your gauge is. So you can only have a max of 15 cards out in play. However, there are a couple of cards that can break that rule, but there are not many. But you can only summon to what gauge you have. If you happen to have more cards, say, I don't know, I am at 6 and I have 6 cards out, and someone somehow passes a card to me to make it 7, the card doesn't go away, but I need to get the gauge up to 8 in order to bring out another card. Also, these are bonuses. Okay, as you can see, you can spend the bonus. You can only get 3 bonuses. And one will change 2 energies into any 2 energies. This will give you a free transmute, and I will explain the transmute in a minute, and it's at a +1 crystal increase. This one is +1 to summoning gauge, and this one is if you take the draw die and you draw cards, you can draw 2 cards instead of 1, and you choose the one of the 2. Alright, now how does transmute actually work? If you do this, you must transmute. Okay, and you can do your die in any order.
Yeah, I expected you to
do
that.
Okay, but you can, but you must transmute. If you don't have any energies, you transmute for 0, and you don't get any points. So this is the track down here. I'm going to just show the dial here real quick. For each season that we're in, say if we're in summer, okay, and you transmute whatever it says here, if you transmute a grass or a fire, you just discard the energy and you get whatever the points is. In this case, it'll be 1 point. Water is worth 2 points, and air is worth 3 points. However, the season on the 3-point ones, it is impossible for you to actually get that energy in that season on the die only, but if you have any left over, you can transmute them for those points. Okay, and that is how the transmute works. And as I showed you with the transmute bonuses, that actually increases to 2, 3, and 4.
That sundial also helps you decide. Let's say you've got 2 different energies that you need, but you know that there's one coming up in a season that you can't get. That sundial also helps you decide your strategy for deciding which energy you
Also,
get.
everybody starts with these 4 cubes, 2 of these. One goes on to 0 for your bonus, and one goes on 0 to start for your summoning track. And then the other 2 are represented by the crystal track there. One goes on to 0, and they just represent where you're at as far as like 100 or 200 or something like that.
Whoever has the most crystals at the end of the game
wins the game. Again, you lose 5 points at the end of the game for each card that is left in your hand. But like I showed you, this ability gives you 3 points instead of losing the 5. However, I'm going to take this ability, which is a really nice ability. I do lose 5 points, but it gives me 2 free energies. One thing I forgot to mention about the bonuses, there's a lot to show you here. Any bonus you spend, you're going to lose that many points at the end of the game. So the first bonus you spend, you lose -5. Second bonus you spent, you lose -12. Third bonus you spent, you lose actually 20 points at the end of the game. However, there are cards that will let you bounce that back. But they may come up, they may not.
One other thing about bonuses, if you don't mind me cutting in here
Sure.
for just a moment. Bonuses can be used more than once. So
Yep.
if you need to use the transmute bonus twice, you can do that.
Yep, and you can use all 3 bonuses on the same turn. As a strategy, I do not advise that. But
Unless you are
can.
absolutely desperate.
This is also very important for people that have played Seasons or want to pick this game up. The discard pile must be played face down. If you discard a card, it has to be face down. There are reasons for that. It is very important. It is unusual to see a game have that mechanic in it, but it's the whole randomness of the game. So you don't know what someone put in the discard pile, and you could just go blind shot if you really want to go through the discard pile.
Which will be relevant because I did see a sepulchral amulet floating in this
Yeah.
draft.
So the game seems complicated. There's a lot to it at first. However, once we get playing, you'll see it's actually a really simple game. It's a really easy game to pick up.
And fun.
All right, so shall we play?
Yeah, let's play. In this game, the youngest player starts. I believe that is you, Justin.
Yeah.
All right, I gotta set my actual seasons here real quick.
Wait,
I forgot
is
to
it?
do that. You are the youngest player. Green's actually older than me.
Oh, all right.
So
31.
hold on, before you start, let me set my years.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Okay, that's my year 1. That's
This is gonna be
My-
interesting. This is gonna be good if I can pull this off.
Yeah.
that's definitely year 3. Year 2.
Okay.
No. That's year 2.
Actually, this is probably one of the hardest parts about the game is deciding which cards you want to save for later and which cards you want to play immediately.
Yep. What you do in this game all depend, and that's what I like about this type of a game in drafting games. When I talk about the genre of the game, it's actually the main mechanic of the game, and it's what you do is based on the mechanic. This is a card drafting game, so everything you do is based on what you draft.
Yep.
So I just want to point that out if anybody's confused on, well, what is a card drafting game? What's a resource management game? That's what it is. So these, your abilities go in this little slot here, just so you know. And Justin, you will start us off, and I'm just going to show people here what I actually took in my first year.
Well, that's an interesting opening roll. Yep, going to take the gauge into water.
Gauge into water.
That's very annoying.
We have a draw die, a 6 crystal die, and a Summon, engage, fire, transmute out on the table. And John, you're taking the draw die.
We'll take the draw.
No matter what, we're going to move into the next season next turn because...
Yep, and I'm going to actually take this die, which is that. So...
Alright, so...
And we are going to go into spring pretty quickly. It's going to move 3 spots.
Alright, so let's kick this off. I will take my 1 summoning gauge, 2 water, and just give me one moment here. I want to see. Not yet. I don't think
Just
I'm going to
move these
activate
down a
that
little
ability
bit so I
yet.
can get them in the camera.
Nope, I'm not going to activate that ability yet. So, in that case, I'm just going to call turn.
Okay.
John is taking his 1 power card. Now, when you get the power card die, I don't know if you mentioned this earlier, you can keep the card, or you can discard it.
I did mention that earlier.
You did?
Yep,
Okay.
I did mention that. And again, if you're curious, there is a bonus that will... Only if you take the draw die, you can actually draw 2 cards instead of 1, and you can keep the one of the 2.
Mm-hmm.
You have to choose one of the 2. Not many people use that ability, but it could come in handy. I know someone that has used that ability, but I don't use it very often.
Yeah.
So it is my turn, and I'm going to take a fire and a gauge.
Let's see. Fire, where's that one? There we go.
And I am just going to just end up transmuting because I have to transmute for 2 points.
For 2 points,
For 2 points. 2 crystals.
you are orange.
I am orange. Like I said, crystals and prestige points are the exact same thing. Crystals is what you get throughout the game. That's the only difference. Prestige points is what you get at the end of the game.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And that is turn.
So that wraps that up.
That wraps it up. The track moves 3 spots. We are now in spring, and it is now John's turn to start us off.
So I will get my gauge to Earth. I'm actually using both Earth for the Tree of Light. Basically, I can tap this and discard 3 crystals. I can gain an energy token of my choice, or I can tap, discard 1 energy token, and it allows me to transmute this turn.
Yep, and I just want to show people what the card actually looks like. Okay.
Because the art on these cards is actually...
Yeah,
really
the
nice,
art
too.
is really, really good on this. So, just want to
Okay.
take a look at the
Actually,
card.
put
It's
that
called Tree of
quote on
Light.
silence. Otherwise, it's going to keep going off.
And John, you're going to be very sad.
Why?
Because you're going to be very sad.
So my turn. Don't this keep going off. Alright. Yep,
Okay.
that is my turn.
Okay, I'm going to get 2 Earth and a Summoning Gauge.
2 Earth. Okay. There's your 2 Earth.
And that's going to be turn.
Alright.
Summoning Gauge goes to 2.
I'm going to take my 1 air, my summoning gauge, and I'm going to discard an earth and a water, or I'm sorry, air and a water
Okay.
for Vampiric Crown. I discard or draw a power card, and I gain as many energy tokens as the number of prestige points on the discarded or drawn
That's
card.
his first draft pick because I
Yeah.
didn't
No.
see it. Really? I did not see
No,
that.
it was in mine.
Ah, that's why I did not see that card.
Nope. I am going to need points to show you guys my first draft pick.
Here's the thing with this. You do not have to reveal when it comes to stuff like this. We just trust you on the actual number of the card. How many do you get?
8.
You get 8? Okay.
Well,
You get to keep the card.
Yeah.
No, you keep...
No, I'm just
Okay.
reading what the card does.
Oh, okay. So, he gets 8 energies because the prestige points on the card is 8. So, therefore, he gets 8 energies of his choice. By the way, you have a max of 7 in this game. So, if you go overflow, you get to actually choose what to discard and keep. That's how the game... However, there is a card that actually lets you extend it to 10, but no one has got that. At the end of the game, when I do my final thoughts, I'm going to actually show you 2 cards for strategy purposes that are kind of not necessary, and kind of makes this game a little on the flawed end.
All right. I'm going to take those, and then I'm going to activate my ability now.
Okay.
My ability, by the way, allows me to take one of the cards in either year 2 or 3 and add it to my hand immediately.
Yep, is what it does.
And then it gives me 9 points at the end of the game.
Yep.
That is kind of a broken ability. I should mention that right now.
It's a pretty nice ability. There's better abilities than others. I will say that.
The one I'm going to take is actually what I'm going to play right now. So, discard a fire and an air from Purse of Io. Gain 1 extra crystal for each energy token I transmute.
Okay.
So I am going to transmute my fire.
Where's your transmute?
Oh, that's right. So, actually, this is a really good thing to bring up. In order to transmute, you either have to have a card that allows you to do it at will, or you have to have it on your dice.
Yep.
Otherwise, you cannot transmute that turn.
Yeah, as I showed, if you're curious on what transmute does, that is actually what represents a transmute. It has the circle around the ring around the actual thing. You must transmute if you get that. However, if you have no energies to transmute, then you don't get the points. You just don't have energies.
Okay, I think I'm good.
Okay, this moves 1, and we still stay in spring.
Justin, move me up 3 points. I'm going to choose to gain that first.
So 5, okay.
And then I'm going to get to Earth.
That's right. 2. There you go.
And now I'm going to play my first draft pick. Okay, which is this card, just so you know. And it cost me points. Justin, move me down 3. This cost me 3 crystals to summon it. I'm going to summon Mirror of the Seasons.
That's a nice one.
Which is going to make John a little sad because it actually chains off Tree of Light.
So please explain what Mirror of Seasons
What
does.
Mirror of the Seasons does is, I will play it in front of me, right there. What it does is I tap it to discard, I discard X crystals, so I lose as many crystals as I want, okay, to what I can afford. And I get to transform. I can turn that same number of energy tokens from my reserve into another type of energy. So I could take, for example, I can lose 2 crystals to turn 2 earth into 2 air, 2 water, or 2 fire. Okay, but I lose 2 points for doing that. I can do 1 for 1. I can do 3, 4, whatever I can afford. But because John has his Tree of Light lets him get energies, and then he can use it to transform into other energies, which is why Mirror of the Seasons and Tree of Light actually is a combo.
That makes me actually kind of sad.
Yes.
I had that right now.
But
You're going to be even sadder soon.
But this was my first draft pick. There was no way of knowing.
Yeah.
So, and it's not a bad first draft pick, just so you know.
It's actually fun. Nobody knows mine.
So I'm putting it out way in front of me, so you know that I have it out in play, so you guys can see the cards that are out. Okay. If you want to move that actually enchantment off to the side, we all know what it does. And that is actually going to be my turn.
Okay, I'm going to gain my 6. Yeah, I'm going to gain my 6. And call it turn from there because I cannot summon anything right now.
Okay, I will take my gauge. I will get in there.
Also, Mirror of the Seasons will give me 8 points at the end of the game because I have the card out.
And I'm good there, actually.
Alright, so we are moving into summer.
We're moving into summer, and it's Justin's roll.
So I will gain my summoning gauge, I will gain my 2 fire. And Now I'm about to lose a lot of points. However, I will gain those points back.
Okay, so what are you playing?
I am playing my first draft pick. I'm going to lose 5 points. Take me down to 1.
I see the card. I hate you right now, Justin.
Arcano Leech. Arcano Leech is a card that points to summon it are based on the number of players. So we have 3 players, so it's 5 points. In order to summon a power card, your opponents must give you 1 crystal first.
And he gets the crystal. So, yeah, it drains our points and it gives it to Justin.
Yes.
But we have to have a crystal. If our crystals are at 0, we cannot summon. Can be a very nasty card. We actually played this game last night, and that one came up and hurt me big time, so...
Arcano Leech can actually backfire on the player who plays it, though, especially if you play it early on, because if players do not have Crystal, they cannot summon, therefore you cannot gain Crystal either. So,
yep.
I'm taking a gamble by playing it early.
No, it's a very good first draft pick and a very good first year. You want to play Arcano Leech. Unless you get it through the deck,
right.
You want to play it in first year, just so you know, for people who like to do strategies of this game. Arcano Leech is a very good first draft pick. It is also, like, if you get it, put it in year 1.
But that will be my turn.
Okay.
There are some cards that are better in year 1. There are some cards that are better in year 3. There are some cards that can just go up in the air in years 1 and 2.
Yep. So you gain
3.
Yep.
And I get to fire, and I will sit on that for now.
Alright. So, I am going to play... I'm going to get a fire and a grass. However, I'm going to transmute fire 1, 2, 3, 4 for 4 points. I'm just going to transmute the 3 earth and a fire for 4 points because they're 1 point each because we're in summer.
Yep.
Okay. That puts me at 6. And then I am going to play I'm actually going to play my ability now.
Okay.
Where I get 2 energies of any choice. I'm going to grab 2 water. But I'm going to use the 2 water, so just keep them in the box.
Amulet of water.
No.
Ooh.
No.
Potion of knowledge.
Okay.
Potion of knowledge.
Potion of knowledge. What Potion of knowledge does, just so you know what this card is right here, is costs 2 water to bring it out, but I tap it to sacrifice it to gain 5 energies.
Oh, wow.
Doesn't give me points. Well, it's a potion. Most potions in this game are all sacrificial abilities, and they don't give you any points, but they give you some nice stuff.
Yeah.
But for now, I'm just going to sit on it. You don't have to play it right now.
Before I forget, you go down 1, I go up 1.
Yep. But I'm actually going to go down 2 more, because I'm going to tap my Mirror of the Seasons, turning 2 earth into 2 air, transmuting it for 6 points, both of them.
So how are you going down 2?
Because I got to spend 2 crystals.
He's got to spend 2 crystals.
2 crystals to actually transform them.
Oh, okay, so you're actually going to gain
4.
a net gain of 4.
I get a net gain of 4, so I should be at 8.
Yep.
And those just go away.
Okay. The game really, really wants us to transmute. Really wants us to transmute.
You guys can enjoy transmuting.
Honestly, I'm just going to take the 1 fire, 1 pip, and the star is summoning gauge. In case you didn't see it. There's another one similar to that die, except it has 2 pips on it. And then we have an air and fire transmute as well.
Once again, I'm going to only take the 1 mana, but I'm going to increase my summoning gauge.
So, this will go there to denote that we're only moving 1. I am going to take my gauge, my 2 air.
Yep. Let's see here. Air hasn't been played a lot this game.
And that's good.
And drop them.
Alright, I'm going to get a fire and a gauge, and I'm just going to just transmute that.
Transmute the fire.
Actually, no, it's actually beneficial that I do. I'm going to tap my Mirror of the Seasons, go down 1, transform it into a water, and then gain 3, so I actually get a net gain of 2.
So you're at 10?
Yep. Or no, yeah, get net gain of 2 because I lost a point.
Yep.
For doing that. So. And I don't need it.
Oh, that's right, because you're going to transmute it.
Yep, I just transmuted it.
Okay.
That is my turn.
Alright, so I will increase my summoning gauge by 1. I will... you know what? I'm actually going to transmute to water. Gain 3 crystals, right? Because we're in...
Yep, we're in fall, and water is worth the most.
Okay. I'm going to lose those 3, but that's okay. I am okay with this. Because I'm going to play Thieving Fairies. Oh, before I forget, I'm going to gain my fire. So, Thieving Fairies is another card that has a crystal cost, based on the number of players, this time 3. Each time an opponent activates, in other words, taps one of their power cards, they give you 1 crystal. Gain an extra 1 crystal at that time.
Right, so in other words, if we tap, he actually gets 2 crystals and we lose 1. You gain a crystal for us tapping it, and you gain an extra 1 because of Thieving Fairies says that.
Correct.
This is one of the things I'm going to go over at the end of the game. There's a couple of cards I want to go over. Thieving Fairies is actually one of the cards. Okay?
However, for right now, I am just perfectly content to sit back and watch you guys hate me.
Thieving Fairy, everybody can build a deck to the way they want. Justin's building a Leech deck, so he's got a Crown of Leech Thieving Fairies. There are a few tap abilities in this draft, so it's not a bad card to have for him to have out. It is actually one of the most annoying cards in the game.
Especially when you combine
but he's
with
going to get crystals through us doing things.
Start.
Okay, so I'm going to grab a grass.
Yep.
And I'm going to get summoning gauge. Is going to go. My summoning gauge is going to go to 4.
Okay.
And I'm actually going to spend 0
Diamalice.
to play a Die of Malice.
Because I knew it was out there.
Okay, and the Die of Malice, what it does is I can tap it, and instead of performing whatever's on my die, okay, on this die, I can choose to re-roll it.
Oh, nice.
And if I do that, if I do use that, if I don't like it or something, I actually get 2 crystals for doing it.
Wow.
And in this case, 1, because Justin has Thieving Fairies.
Oh, yeah, by the way, speaking of...
Arcana Leech.
So I go up by 1, you go down by 1.
You're going to move me up 1 again because I'm going to just transmute the grass for a point, or for 2 points, actually.
Okay.
So I'm going to go up 2 points now.
So you go to 11.
Yep. And that is turn because that's all I can do this turn. So I've summoned everything from year 1.
So, point standing as it stands right now. Jesse is in the lead with 11 points. John has 3 points. I have 3 points.
Yep.
However, that's going to change very, very rapidly.
Yes, this is going to change. This game does go back for
It will once I get some things out of my hand.
Yeah.
So, I will take my summoning gauge. I'm not too worried about not being able to take the grass right now. Jesse, thank you very much, by the way.
Okay.
Because I'm going to lose 3 crystals. I know it sounds like I'm sacrificing a lot of my crystals, but once the game gets going, I'll get them back. For the card that I drew in that Vampiric Crown...
Mirror of the Seasons.
Mirror of the Seasons.
In this game, there are 2 copies of every card in the deck.
Makes me...
Okay, there are 2 Dionysuses. There are 2 Mirror of the Seasons out now. They don't blow each other up or anything like that. One person can have one, the other person, you can have 2 copies of this. But no more Mirror of the Seasons are in the game. Both of them are out on the field now. So,
Well, I'll just take my gauge, my earth, and just be sad right now because I've just not been able to do anything.
Surprised you haven't used your gauge, just because your ability gives you points at the end.
My +2 gauge, -5.
Oh, it gives you -5. Never mind. So you may not need to use it, and you won't lose any points.
May not.
Yep.
Right now, I haven't been able to do anything yet.
So that is turn.
And we go into the last part of year 1. Once again, not too concerned that I don't have to take that I can't take the grass right now. So I'm just going to increase my summoning gauge by 1 and call it turn.
Okay. I am going to transmute an earth. Or
So-
an air for a point.
Yep.
And then I will get back an air and a fire because I'm choosing to transmute first.
Yep. So you get a fire as
Yep.
well.
You can choose in any order as you please.
Okay.
This game is very open-ended
Put
when
me
it
down
comes to
3.
that.
Push you down 3.
Yep. Fire, air, earth for the card that I drew. Hand of Fortune.
Nice.
And you can-
So you actually go down 4.
Just so people know what Hand of Fortune does, it costs 3 crystals to summon plus the air, fire, and earth. But from here on out, all cards that he plays cost 1 energy less to summon it.
Which is going to make
But a minimum,
very happy.
a minimum of 1 energy has to be played, so you can't make something 0. I will reiterate that now.
Now, I'm curious about something. Does that only go for energy, or does it go for crystal value as well?
Nope, energy only.
Energy only.
Specifically energy.
Yup. So anything that costs crystals still costs crystals.
Got it. Okay.
And he gets 9 points at the end of the game for having it.
Yeah.
So I'm going to take the draw die, and
Are you gonna re-roll it with die mouse?
nope, I am actually just going to just draw a card from the top of the deck. I may keep this, and I do plan on keeping this, just so you know what this does. And that will be turn.